Hello everyone. Thank you for joining our session today. We will talk about web application firewall bypassing techniques. First, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Atizaz Mohsin. I am currently working as a senior consultant at Saudi Telecom Company. I was the first one to demystify the dark hotel hacking campaign and have spoken at several international conferences, including HitCon, DeepSec, DEFCON, Sector, and many others. Manish is working as a security consultant at MDSec. He has expertise in web application security and network pen testing. He has also published papers on SQL injection techniques. Alright, let's talk about web application firewalls. So, web application firewalls protect the web applications from attackers as they sit in front of the web applications, monitor the activities, and also blocks the malicious traffic. They can also be used in web application vulnerability program to reduce the remediation time without having to change the application source code. And from here onwards, Manish will.
A web shell can be detected by the WAF or antivirus. Detection may happen during different phases such as file upload, access, or when an attacker is performing any activity using the uploaded web shell. As we know, WAF inspects incoming request header and body or HTTP response. In this talk, we will have a look on following scenarios. Scenario 1. When an attacker is trying to upload a web shell to the web server using arbitrary file upload vulnerability. Scenario 2. When an attacker managed to upload a web shell to the web application server successfully and trying to access it. WAF rule can figure out that web shell is being accessed and will block the execution immediately. Scenario 3. This is the scenario in which attacker is trying to execute the OS commands or trying to access server internal files. Detection. When an attacker is uploading the web shell, how WAF can detect the file upload? Let's consider the scenario attacker is trying to upload the web shell to the web application server. In this case, WAF can block the file upload request if the file has extensions such as PHP, ASP or JSP. In this scenario, WAF rule will get triggered and file upload request will be blocked. Second scenario is WAF has a rule according to which it is inspecting the content of the file being uploaded. In this case, the file content has keywords which are flagged or blacklisted by the WAF. In such scenario, file upload request will be blocked once any of the blacklisted or blocked keyword has been detected. So let's discuss how to bypass. For scenario 1, we can try for tricks which are OS or web server specific. For example, if we have extra space in the file extension, WAF will not block the request, but Windows OS has very specific behavior for this process. Once we have uploaded a file with extra space in it, Windows will be actually removing the space from the file extension and will save it. Once we have uploaded the file, now we have bypassed the WAF and we have web shell uploaded successfully on the server. We can access it. So this is the case when we are trying to upload a web shell and it's been detected by the mode security file upload rule. So it's been blocked, but here we can see we have added extra space after the extension PHP and this request will be processed successfully. Let's talk about the scenario 2. When we have some security rules which are actually blocking file upload because of the blacklisted keyword in the HTTP request body. How to bypass in such scenarios? Well, for this case, all we need to do, we need to have a code which is actually not having any blacklisted keyword but actually call web shell and hold the content of the web shell in session variable and then pass this web shell content to the eval keyword. So this is how we can actually bypass the security measure such as blacklisting of the keywords. So here you can see we have just specified the path to the web shell hosted remotely, and once we click Khul Ja SimSim button, it will be actually loading the web shell, and this shell will be converted into the complete web shell hosted on the remote location. Have a demo. So in this web shell, what actually we are going to do, we are going to load a remote shell. So here you can see this is the code. We can actually load the content of the remote shell in session variable, and we have to just add this web shell content with some data, and then we are going to actually call the create function, and then using create function we will be calling eval, and eval function we will be passing the web shell code. Okay, so let's start. So this is the Incredible shell, and we just need to specify the password, and we just need to copy the remotely hosted web shell. So this is the B374K web shell. Let's specify the location and just click. Now you can see this shell has been converted into the B374K shell. But if you just observe, data is still same. This shell is not actually holding the code of the B374K shell. Security measure 2. So in this case, we have a WAF rule which is actually inspecting the web page's HTTP response. In this case, web page has any blacklisted keyword, WAF rule will block the access to that particular web page. So here is the example in which we are going to access B374K shell, and according to the mode security rule, if there is a web page which has B374K in keyword in its title, so it will be blocked. So here you can see that it's been blocked, and the message was B374K web shell detected. So it is a very easy bypass, and this rule is not robust at all. So if someone just going to change the content in title tag, so it will be result in bypass. So here you can see we have just replaced B374K keyword with B0X, and we can access the web shell. So it is very easy. So don't rely on such type of rule, and we just need to figure out such type of security measure by removing and replacing the keywords. And once we have figured out the exact keyword which has been blacklisted, we can bypass the restriction. Detection mechanism 3. So in this detection mechanism, actually when an attacker is going to perform any activity such as trying to execute OS commands or trying to browse any file on the server, in that case web shell will be triggering HTTP request, and in that request there will be data. Let's say attacker is trying to execute the command cat etc passwd. So in this case that command will be actually embedded in HTTP post parameter or get parameter. When web shell will be triggering this request to web server which is protected by a WAF, in this case WAF will be actually detecting the execution of the command. Here this command is blacklisted, or even if we try to execute uname -a, so in this case WAF rule will be detecting if someone is trying to do something malicious or not. So that is security mechanism 1. Security mechanism 2. So in security mechanism 2, what we have, let's say using web shell, an attacker is actually trying to browse the files hosted on server. Let's say configuration files, or attacker is trying to perform reconnaissance on the server to privilege to perform privilege escalation. So in this case, what we have to do, we have to browse the files either using commands or we have to browse the files using web shell interface. So in both the cases, it can be detected by web application firewall, because again we have to pass the file location as a parameter, and when this parameter value will be detected by the WAF, there will be alert and WAF will be actually blocking the execution of request. So this is the case. Let's talk about the scenario. So here you can see the web application server is actually protected by Mode Security WAF. So here, when attacker is actually trying to execute command using a web shell, it's been detected and alert was raised that remote command execution is happening, and in HTTP response, WAF is returning 403 forbidden response. So this request has been blocked and we cannot execute the command. Scenario 2. In this case, we are trying to browse the file using B374K shell, and here once we specified that we want to browse the file which is hosted inside etc directory, MySQL directory, and file name is my.cnf. So this is MySQL configuration file, and when we are trying to access MySQL configuration file, in this case it's actually triggering a rule, and according to the rule it's LFI attack. But using web shell we are trying to browse this file, so that is a different story, but still WAF will be considering it as LFI attack because we are passing the file location as a parameter value, and here parameter name is view. So because of that thing, WAF has been triggered and it has actually blocked the HTTP request triggered by the web shell. So again we are getting 403 forbidden response and we are not going to get the content. So here is the another example. In this case, we are trying to access a file that is aj6.php, and this file contains PHP source code. So when we try to access this file using web shell, when we try to access, WAF actually inspected the HTTP response and found that this file contained PHP code and it's flagging it as data leakage, that there is some leakage of the PHP source code, and because of that thing it has blocked the HTTP response and we are just getting 403 forbidden. How to bypass? Now the thing is, if we have these type of things in place, so let's say even if we are able to upload web shell successfully, but anyhow we have to bypass these security measures, otherwise there will be of no use that we made so far and we are not able to execute command or we are not able to browse the files. So let's try to overcome this restriction, and to perform command execution or other stuffs, we have to go for such scenarios which can actually help us. So in this case, what actually I am doing, we are actually going to perform. So in this case, what actually I am going to demonstrate, that these type of instruction can be bypassed if WAF is not able to inspect the incoming requests, and that can be done if our incoming request data is either encrypted or encoded. So I am not going for encoding, but actually I am going for encryption. So in this case you can see when I am actually trying to execute the command using custom shell, so it is actually not detecting and just returning me the output of the command, and the reason is it is actually performing client-side encryption for the command which actually I am trying to execute and then submitting it to the server. During this process, WAF is actually not able to figure out anything, and because of this thing I was able to pass this command to web shell successfully, and in backend when this encrypted text will be hand over to PHP web shell, PHP web shell has a function which will actually perform decryption, and then we'll be getting the exact command, we'll execute it and return the response to web shell. So this is how this thing is going to work. So here you can see that traffic is actually passed through Burpsuite proxy, and here you can see the value of HTTP parameter data underscore base64 is actually encrypted. Here you can see it's actually base64 encoded, but after performing encryption I have just performed encoding as well, so that I can pass it safely over HTTP. So this is the thing. Let's demonstrate how these things are going to work. And here you can see, so this is the B374K shell, and right now this shell is not having any custom functionalities, and it's just a normal shell. So here is the server which is actually protected by mod security, and consider we have uploaded web shell on the server, but when we are trying to execute OS command such as cat etc passwd, so it is actually getting detected, and here you can see, okay. And even if we try to execute some other command, let's say uname, so that is also flagged. Okay, so that is the issue. Access file such as etc apache 2. Let's try to browse a file in etc directory. Or let's try to browse file from etc directory and see. So let's say we are just jumping to etc directory. Here you will be observing that it is actually blocking our request when we are trying to access it. So I'm just selecting MySQL. So here you can see again we have been blocked by the WAF, and it is actually because of the rule, and these are the things actually blocking us to access any other thing. But how to overcome? For that, what we will be doing, we have a web shell, and that web shell can actually help us to perform bypassing of such scenarios. So this is the web shell, and it's a custom one. So whatever the secret and IVs are here, these are actually meant for encryption purpose, and these are dynamically generated by web shell itself. All we just need to have JS enabled in the web browser. So once we have this screen, we just need to click submit button, and later we have console, we have explorer, then we have server info. So let's go for console, because console is actually allowing us to execute OS command. And here you can see, if I'm going to execute the command, let's see. So you can see I can actually execute the command. Anything you want to execute, it won't be flagged by WAF, and the reason is simple. It's because of the web shell is actually performing encryption on the fly. So here is the thing. Okay, and just for your information, if you have a look on the web shell, so you can see whenever we are executing any command, it is actually getting encrypted, first encrypted and then encoding. So here you can see this is the output of the command. Let me show you. So this is the output of the cat etc passwd. Let me show you. See, here you can see. So this is the demo regarding this one, and even if you want to perform the directory listing or something like that, you can simply go there and it will be actually triggering the request towards server, and then we can actually grab it. So here is the output. So here is the output. Web shell is little bit slow because it's Ajax based, so it is actually loading each and everything. This is the functionality, and this is the custom web shell we can actually use to bypass the restrictions. And if you want to exit, just simply click session end. Let me demonstrate how this web shell is actually working in background to perform encryption and decryption. So here you can see this is the initial interface, and you can see there is a secret and IV input field. So how actually things are happening in background, let me show you. So this is the code of the web shell. So the moment I am going to click button, it will be actually calling a function, and according to this JavaScript function, it will be holding secret and IV value in browser document, browser local storage, and will be triggering an HTTP request toward web shell itself, so that when these value will be submitted to web shell, these value will be stored in session variable, and whenever we are going to execute command, in that case to perform decryption, these means a secret and IV will be called through session variable and decryption will be performed. So this is a simple straightforward technique which I have used in this web shell. We are not going to hard code any secret or IV in web shell, but dynamically we will be passing these value. So let's just have a look through interface as well. So right now I am just going to show that we don't have anything in our storage, means the local storage, because according to design this web shell will be holding secret and IV in local storage. As of now nothing is there. So let's start. I'm going to click button and it will actually store the value in local storage. So here you can see IV and secret has been stored. Parallelly, request was triggered to the server with IV and secret value. So once we forward this request, and once we have forwarded the request, web shell has actually showed us the functionalities to execute the command and other things. Now things are simple. Whenever we are going to do something through this web shell, so these things will be encrypted through client-side JavaScript code, and it will be decrypted on server side using those secret and IV values which are actually stored in session variable. So let me show you. So whatever the command we are executing, it is actually getting passed to server as encrypted value. Here it is. So this is the thing, and now integrate this web shell with Incredible Shell so that we can actually hide our activities from SIM team, or let's say if someone is monitoring. So in that case, simply they won't be able to figure out what actually is happening. And to do so, we will be demonstrating this web shell with the combination of Incredible Shell. Now I will demonstrate how to use Incredible Shell with the modified Manu shell, so that we can actually execute commands, and we need not to upload Manu shell on the server. So it will be a dual combination, and using this combination we can actually bypass two type of restriction. First one, when we are going to upload Incredible Shell, so it is not having any blacklisted keyword in it, so it will be helping us to bypass the scenario in which WAF or antivirus is actually detecting blacklisted keyword in a file which is being uploaded by an attacker. And the second scenario is, once we have uploaded this shell, we will be calling Manu shell to bypass the restriction of WAF detection when we are going to execute command, or when we are going to do something like file browsing on the server. So let's start. So this is the Incredible Shell, and this is the Manu shell hosted on a server. As we know, we have to specify the password, and then we have to specify the remotely hosted Manu shell link. And once we click the button, now Manu shell has been launched. All we need to do is just proceed with the steps, and that's all. As you can see, we can actually execute the commands, and this is actually Incredible Shell, but we have actually loaded Manu shell. So whenever we are going to make a call, make a request, the only shell which will be actually executing it is Incredible one, but in background session variable is holding Manu shell. So if someone is actually going to inspect the traffic, they will be just getting things related to Incredible Shell. So it is actually an advantage when someone is monitoring the server, and they won't be able to figure out simply how things are happening, what actually happening, and what actually this script is doing. If the person who is actually inspecting or monitoring the traffic has actually hands-on experience in PHP, then only that person can figure out what actually happening. Otherwise, no. So this is how we can use this one. Let's end the session, and if you want to load another shell, so in that case, all we just need to clear the session again. We are back to Incredible Shell interface to load the next shell. So that's all.